I've been waiting a while to get you on, Logan.
Yes, yes. I just always felt like I wasn't ready. It's
Hmm,
just, it feels like, you know, you take one step and you acknowledge it, but you feel like you want to take another and then
of
another. And
course.
it's, you know,
For sure, man. For sure. And like, look, your growth has been pretty phenomenal the last month or so. I think everybody in the community is seeing that of like, wow, this man has just signed a ton of clients in 1 month. So incredible to see, man. If you want to give a quick intro, Logan, just for people that are, completely new, they might be watching me for the first time. I'm wondering who is this legend with Adam today. So if you want to give a quick intro, man, and then we'll jump right in.
yeah, yeah. So I think the quick intro would be that, you know, it's been quite the journey. And I stumbled upon your program feeling lost, feeling a little upset, frustrated, not seeing any results. And I even kind of brought a little bit of that frustration. I remember when we first talked. And I think that making the decision to join this, not, I don't think, I know that making the decision to join this program, getting charted, getting, with the community, um, has, I wouldn't be here without it. And I'm not saying that as another testimonial. I'm saying that from a guy who first started this, who didn't make a single dollar for 6 months,
Mm,
just trying and trying and trying and trying, and no result at all. And the only catalyst that I can see looking back was joining this course.
yeah.
Simply put, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not even close to one hundredth of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or 1/1000th. Uh, so I needed the guidance. I needed the help. I know I wanted to do social media marketing. I know I wanted to do content creation. I just didn't know how.
Mm.
And that's this course is what changed, truthfully.
Damn, man. Make me shedding tears over here. Nah, awesome to hear, man. Awesome to hear. And, just for the, again, man, that person that hasn't maybe seen much of this space, like what exactly do you do as a social media marketer? Like, is there a certain type of client you work with? If you were to give them the kind of elevator pitch of your service, what would that be?
It's a great question. And oftentimes when I work with, when I first speak with prospects, it's busy business owners,
Hmm.
right? They know that they need to do social media. They just don't have the time
Yeah,
to do it, right? So setting them up with a system and a process to make it easy for them and to kind of just spoon feed the content ready for approval
hmm,
is what we're all about. We don't, we're not solving cancer. We're
yeah.
just adding an additional benefit into their life without causing chaos, without causing strain. And that's what it's about, just making it easy for them.
Love it, man. Love it. It's such a good way of putting it, man. Because like we often talk about that, right? On coaching calls, we might explain to someone who might be new to the space of like, hey, you don't need to be the most confident in the world about your social media skills. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's normally the busy business owner that already needs help. They want help, they want to pay for help. You're just you're just filling that gap. It sounds very simple, and that's like the reality. That's what it is. Of course, there's complexity behind that of how we, as you said, create that system and that process and how we deliver it to make it seem like it's so simple. Obviously, there's the behind the scenes, which we can go into a little bit deeper, man. But like that's the reality. We're not solving, the hunger crisis. We're just providing a need to a service, and that's literally it, man. Or a service to a need, I should say. And I guess,
Exactly.
Logan, just for again that kind of deeper context, obviously, as you said there, so you kind of tried this yourself. You then joined the program, and then yeah, I think that's been roughly a year or so, roughly since then. What has been kind of the journey been like so far, man? Like obviously, like anything, it's not always uphill. There's always going to be little peaks and troughs and moments of doubt, but yeah, walk through just real briefly, man, of like how that's gone for you.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, the reason why it's taken me so long, what it feels like for me
Hmm,
for so long, is that sometimes we know that we need help.
hmm,
And I knew that at the end of the day, when I first joined this course, and even when I first declined, saying, "Oh, I don't need it," and then more weeks went by, not making any money. More weeks went by, not knowing what I was doing, how to get clients, how to make money, how to do any of it.
Mm-hmm.
right? And I had to just look at myself in the mirror and say, Logan, stop fooling yourself. And I wish that that was my actual wake up call,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't. And even when joining the course, sometimes when we start businesses, we can think higher of ourselves than what we actually are. And when we start things and, you know, people praise us for leaving our jobs, people praise
Mm-hmm.
us for doing things that people aren't willing to do. But that's just one step on the journey.
Yeah.
You don't know it all. You don't know objectively. And if I could say that to myself, when I first started this course with you, it would to shake myself and say, Logan, you don't know anything. Adam knows. And at the time, Ty knows. People in the community knows. Trust it. Don't
Yeah.
question it. Don't ask for why. Do it and let the results speak. And that took me a long time. And I'm still learning that.
Mm-hmm.
Big mistake. Big mistake. If you, the get rich quick scheme, it doesn't exist. But if you want to expedite that process, take someone who knows, ask great questions, and simply listen and do it.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, well, my situation's different. Oh, I know how to do it better. I'm going to say it kindly. You don't. You just need to listen and follow the process.
That's
And
wisdom, man.
it sounds harsh, but
Yeah.
man, it's taken me so long to try and do it the Logan way, the
Mm-hmm.
way that I've never seen success. Now that
Mm-hmm.
I am almost hitting 20K in this month, we're pushing for 30K for December. Just follow the process.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it, man. And it's so true for all of us, like me include everybody, everybody. It's when you know somebody who's ahead of you that has the key for the thing that you're looking for help with, follow it. Like, yeah, of course you can question a little bit and that, that's understandable. But like you said, if you're paying for help and then you question the help, yeah, it might not work out too well for you. But if you pay for the help and just action it, report back with your findings, your results, if it worked for you, if you didn't, probably going to get much further for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I could actually piggyback off for anyone who's watching this now or into the future, like for example, you hold the door, you give us the key, and life is this locking mechanism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people take the key that you provide us, right? Hey, Logan, do this, 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 and this. Look at this, 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 and this. And we say to ourselves, okay, yeah, no problem. But when we actually take the key on how to insert it into the lock, and then twist it a certain way, only 90 degrees, and then you twist the door handle to open it,
Mm-hmm.
we say, oh, well, no, that's not how the door really works.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know the door better because even though I haven't walked through the door,
Mm-hmm.
I know how the locking mechanism works. And it's a silly analogy, but you give us the key, you tell us how to turn the key, you tell us how to turn the handle. And if we just listen and follow through,
Yeah.
you open to the next door. You'll see
For
another
sure.
lock with a different locking mechanism. You just ask a question then.
And that's where credit is due, man. You've done a great job being in coaching calls, coming prepared, as you said, asking great questions. I want to highlight that because it's not just listen, never ask a question, and just go with it because that's not how we work. We need to, of course, understand the process. You need to ask questions to get clarity on how you do the thing, and that's something you've done well, man. Like you've done it since the start. You've joined calls. Sometimes you'll listen in. Sometimes you'll have a list of questions. Sometimes you'll have a check in of, hey, this is where I'm at. I need a bit of a brain dump here to figure out my next steps. What do I do? And we give you advice and you action it and you come back and you report the findings. And it's like, boom, it's that easy, But that's the reality,
Yeah,
That's the reality,
yeah,
man. And you've done that well. So credit where credit is due. Obviously, things are moving, man, like you said. So aiming for 20K this month, hopefully 30K December. You did, I think, around 15K, a little bit above it last month in September. So I guess, man, most people are going to be wondering, okay, what's that magic key? What's been that one thing that has changed it all for you, man? So I guess apart from just the general help we've given you, what are kind of like the tactics you're using to get clients right now?
yeah, yeah. And the tactics, if I stated the exact tactics, and I will get into it, the quote unquote secret sauce,
Mm,
but you won't, if I tell you to, if you're at $0, zero clients, what I say will not help you on how I'm getting clients now. So
Yeah,
instead, I'll back it up for one quick moment on how I was able to achieve the first client. And
cool.
that is kind of first more like a mind shift change. When I got my first client, I was saying, okay, we're going to try and hit 5K in the first month.
Hmm.
We're going to hit 10K in the first month. And we want a client that's worth $3,000 per month. And the next client, $3,000 per month. And right now, the only thing, if you're just starting out, that's more important than money is the experience. When I first went on to Upwork, I needed the reviews. And I literally went on to proposal on proposal on proposal on proposal on proposal, doing about 3 to 4 per day. What was prescribed was two. I did double that. And the expectation that I told myself is I don't care if I see one or none. I will not stop and just continue and continue and continue because I know that sooner or later I will see results. I lowered my hourly rate. This is how I got my first client. I lowered my hourly rate on Upwork to the bare minimum. And this was only for, and I remember when the first woman who I spoke with, her name was Linda. She was watching a children's book. And I said, hey, Linda, because, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to work for that hourly rate. I get that, right? Put it on. People will reach out to you just to get more leads, right? The exact, don't start off with 49.99 per hour, right?
Mm.
You have to realize that the searching mechanism on people on a client side with Upwork, there's brackets. And when you fall within a certain bracket, there's a highly likelihood that you talk to someone. There's a highly likelihood for you to close someone. And I put my hourly rate at the very lowest, ending in 0.99 or 0.97, just a little bit different. And I remember telling Linda and say, hey, this is actually not my hourly rate. However, this is not a bait and switch. I'm here to honor this rate for a certain amount of time. And then after, we would need a rate adjustment. But if possible, with this rate, I would like to have a guaranteed 5-star review. Not just the 5-star, but also the review, right? Also the statement on your experience working with me. I remember feeling scared. I remember feeling not knowing how to do it, when to post, how to make the content, any of it. But we still did it through all the angst, fear, overwhelm, and I got my first 5-star review. And I did that to get my second client, and then third client, and then fourth, all keeping it at that bare minimum amount. Now, those clients, they didn't stick around, but their reviews did. Those reviews, and now this will lead me to where I am now, to becoming top rated on the platform. Now, statistically speaking, it's a numbers game on Upwork. The reason why you win, there's over 10,000 social media managers on Upwork. How you win, maybe over 20,000. Statistically, if you're fluent in English, you've already put yourself above most, number one. Number
Hmm.
two, if you've earned over $1, you've put yourself above most. Number three, if you've received a 5-star review, you've put yourself above most competitors. Then, if you receive over $100 earned, right? The objective for me was over $1,000 earned. That's when I first changed my my hourly rate.
Hmm.
That allowed me to come top rated, and that allowed me to have inbound leads. But that's if I was first starting, that advice would help me a lot.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
That's such good advice, man. Because again, it's the reality, it's what people need to hear if they want to do this. And I think what's interesting, man, is like there's people in the program that will start off and they'll get their first client for 500 a month, six, seven, 800, sometimes more than that, 1,000 plus per month. But yeah, are they going to then get, as you said, that guaranteed 5-star review? No, because what's going to happen is clients that pay more have a higher expectation, but they expect more out of the service. And if you're just starting, you're probably going to be very overwhelmed, thinking, how am I going to deliver on this? And so it creates this the interesting dynamic where it's like, on one hand, yes, it's possible to charge a high enough price at the start and make it work, but it's just way easier to go lower. Because as you said there, more likelihood for you to just get clients because you're going to have more people interested in working with you because you're cheaper. Then you've got more chance of getting those reviews if you structure it as you did of like, hey, I'm going to honor this in return for this. But then finally, is you're probably more likely to deliver on their expectation because they're paying less. Okay. And I think that's really, really important because obviously those high ticket clients, like you said when you started, that kind of goal of like clients around $3,000 a month. Well, yeah, they have a $3,000 a month expectation. They want to get a lot out of that. So definitely great advice, man, just for the person starting off of drop the ego, leave it at the door, do some work where you're not going to get rich in the first couple of months, but you're building, I guess, richness and experience in reviews and social proof, which is going to create what you have now. Like you said, a top rated profile, thousands of dollars earned on the platform, and leads then coming into you every month. That's
Yeah.
the beauty, man. What's the kind of split for you at the moment, Logan? Would you say out of all the conversations that are getting started for you on Upwork, what's the split between leads coming to you? So them just seeing your profile because you're ranking so well now, and you actually going out and sending proposals, applying to jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great question. And I'm actually, so I answered the first half of your question on how I was getting clients, and that's how I was
Mm,
getting clients initially. However, what I left out was how I'm getting clients now. And I'm happy to touch on it. And I think, from me to you, if, I want to help the internal community. And I know that if I heard this, it would have been a game changer for me. And I will dive into it. I don't know if we want to bleep it out for other platforms.
sure.
It's up to you. But
Mm-hmm.
for the internal community, I'm happy to share that with. Do you mind if I share my screen?
Let's do it, man. Let me open it up. Should be good for you now. Love this, man. We're getting tactical. Hell
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
When you see my profile, there's a couple things that I want to bring your attention to.
I think that's a great idea. We're going to keep that one. That's going to be behind closed doors, that little segment for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate you showing that, man. Super interesting because it's not an area a lot of people are even aware of exists. First off, I think a lot of people don't know that you can even boost your profile, have the availability badge, or any of that. So I like it, man. I'm glad you shared it for sure. I know we're going to get a bunch of people going. All right, locking in on that, and hopefully we see some good results. Eh? I'd love
Yeah.
to kind of jump into sales calls real quick, Logan, and kind of just get your thoughts on this. So obviously, as we know, sales calls are the bread and butter. You have to be good at them, but at the same time, you don't have to be an expert salesperson, right? Because again, we're on Upwork, people are already looking for help. So we're selling them something they already want, makes it a lot easier. But I guess a lot of people, man, have a lot of doubts around this, okay? Especially if someone's just starting. It's a big worry, it's a big doubt of, how do I actually effectively communicate that I can do this? What I'd love to get kind of your thoughts on, man, is for your first few clients, as you said, you use that kind of lower price strategy to get your foot in the door. You led with honesty with them to say, hey, it's not actually my price, but you saw I listed it, so I'm going to offer it to you, right? If you're happy to do the 5-star review. What was, yeah, what was kind of your process going into those calls, man? Like, were you following a certain structure and a framework for the call? Was there anything that you were leaning into? Again, the reason I ask, and I kind of probably know your answer already, man, but it's more just for that person who's starting out that has this idea of calls with business owners built up in their head as this big scary thing that they cannot do and they're not quite ready to do and they're not confident enough to tackle. You've obviously done it. You're probably at this stage, as you said, you're doing multiple calls a day. So it's like water off your back. You know how to do it in your sleep. But when you started, what was your approach to it?
Yeah, yeah, and this actually goes back to one of the courses in the sales module that I watched. And you have to know what feels most natural to you.
Mm,
Uh, when I first started, I talked at people, and then there's the people that just ask questions, and then there's the people that, as you suggested, Adam, in the course, is the doctor approach, right? Where you're there to help guide. You're not there to solve, right? You're there to guide first and just provide value. And when I first jumped on these calls, I remember I was so nervous and my skin, I was literally shaking. I was
mm,
so nervous. I sometimes when I get nervous, I get goosebumps, and it was, yeah, I was nervous. I was jittery. I didn't know how to take the sales calls. But
mm,
after doing it a few times, I reframed it in my mind, and I said, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. And
mm,
instead of maybe worrying about it, I'm looking forward to it. And when I took these calls, instead of trying to frame myself and prove myself, I instead realized that the person that asks the questions has the control. So instead of trying to sound like Mr. Wonderful, I just asked them, hey, first off, I read through your job proposal. It sounds exciting. And ask for a little bit more clarity. Like, for example, maybe you left out actually the actual industry.
Mm,
Maybe they left out the business. Maybe they left out who they're trying to serve. And the only way that we can provide clarity is if we ask clarifying questions.
mm,
I need to know more in order to provide better results for you. I can't just go into an empty room with the lights off and say, this is exactly how we should lay out the room when I haven't even turned on the lights. I have to understand the structure of the business. I have to understand what the goals and the objectives are for the business owner so I can tailor my words to what the problem we're trying to solve. And I have gone through a lot of different iterations of my sales calls where first it was just talking.
mm,
Then it was, where are we now? Where are we looking to go? What is the gap? And to now more question based. So I still lead my sales calls. I don't ask them to ask me what my experience is. I don't
mm,
have them it's not an interview. It's very evident that it's a sales call, right? Sometimes you'll have people that will try to take control of the conversation, but as long as you just keep framing it with questions, that remains the control. And it's just around getting clarity, number one, understanding the pain points, number two, and number three, seeing realistically if you can actually solve those pain points. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And if you can't, there's been times where I just said, hey, simply put, what you're asking for is something that I don't offer. And they'll usually try to cater to you more often than not.
mm. Love it, man.
Yeah,
Love it.
more often than not.
Absolutely love it, man. Like you said, it's who asks the questions. Yeah, you're the person in control. And again, that sounds, I know when I say that, people will hear control and be like, oh, so you got to be very forceful on the call. No, you're, like you said, you're literally asking questions for you to just get clarity on what it is they actually do and what they need help with. And I know that sounds difficult when you're starting, but like it's not that difficult. It's when you frame it, as you said, move away from nervousness and move into, hey, I'm just excited to learn more, right? You should ask questions, right? If I'm excited about anything, an investment, a stock I want to buy, I should ask questions, right? I shouldn't just buy it blindly. Nobody would. You have to ask questions to understand it. And then once you understand it, you can decide, okay, maybe that's for me. And so that's the key. That's the key, man. And it's great that you've figured that out, right? That's the approach that works well for you, that doctor approach. Ask questions, get clarity, then diagnose a solution. And hopefully, if we've done our job well, that's the solution that they were looking for anyway, or that they thought
Yeah.
they needed. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense, man. Makes sense. And obviously, you're at the stage now, Logan, as you said, like you've got multiple calls a day. This is probably just second nature. There's probably no more goosebumps or very few. It's just
Yeah.
rolls off the tongue, part of your day, easy peasy. And I think that's the beauty of it for people listening. Like it can become an incredibly easy thing for you to do, but it's always scary. I was absolutely dead nervous doing my first 10 calls. Now I'm okay. Now you could give me any business owner and I'll speak to them. Fine. Doesn't mean I'll close it 100% of the time. That's just the reality, but I'll do an okay job. And that's just with time in the game, you get better at that. And I guess, the message there is stay in the game. don't
Yeah.
give up after your first call and it doesn't go well. Because I know I
Oh yeah.
definitely could have given up after my first call because it was pretty bad. Didn't enjoy it one bit. But here we are. That's that cliche. You just got to keep going, man. I'd love to touch really quickly, Logan, on just kind of on mindset. Okay. We all know it's very important, especially for the beginner starting this. They're going to have so many doubts, overwhelming. It's scary. Who am I to think I can even do this? Who am I to build this business? Who am I to manage social media pages if I've not done it before? All of these doubts, completely normal, completely human, but we have to figure out a way to obviously push through those so that you can actually do the actions, speak to business owners, take calls, close deals, and make the money that we want to make. So I'd love to hear just kind of, from the journey you've gone through, man, like what has helped you develop that? What helps you to this day? What helped you when you started? really just kind of realign yourself to realize that you have to think about this a certain way to allow yourself to actually take the actions that will then in turn make you money down the line.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really, when I first started off, it's, oh, mindset. And there's just so many complexities
Mm,
to mindset. And coming from someone, so I have struggled so much on this entrepreneurial journey. And, when I said I didn't make my first dollar, when I first came out of the course, I was already starting for 6 months. I didn't make any money.
mm,
Right. And then I still refused to listen. Right. For the 3 months after that, until I finally said, hey, it's time to listen. What they're saying, they know more than me, and it's time to just apply it. And so what I'm really saying is 9 months, I went and I just beat my head up against the wall again and again and
mhm,
again and again and again. And my mindset, if I were to be speaking to the younger version of myself, is that it's like a tipping point. And this is from the book Tipping Point, right? You will put invisible actions, you will see no progress, you will put in tireless efforts and expect reward, expect gains, and you won't see it for a long time. For a long time. If you go
mhm,
into my Stripe account, you'll see a it's just meanders,
mhm,
meanders, and
mhm,
then it explodes, right? And that is because behind the scenes is where all the progress happens. So instead of just trying to see the outcome immediately, it's focusing on what are we seeing today? What results did we get to today? And detaching from emotion. And this has been incredibly difficult. And coming from a man, I don't consider myself emotional, but it's underlying feelings that say, "Oh, I don't feel like it," or "Oh, I'm kind of tired." "Oh, I didn't get so much sleep last night," or
mhm.
"Oh, maybe it's not that important." Those are lies. Those are things trying to take you away from success. When I'm tired, for example, right now, I feel absolutely terrible. I won't even lie. I'm under the weather. I didn't sleep at all last night, but we still show up. We still put in the hours. I had a client earlier today who was blowing up about an issue, but we reframed the situation to our benefit. Right? They had another team member that was on the project who tried to undermine the project, and being able to continuously show up, reframe things, and restate with that positivity is what is just absolutely key. Even today, just with last month, with the numbers that we're hitting, we still feel doubt, frustration. We feel like we should be farther than where we actually are. I've been on this entrepreneurial journey for 7 years, almost 8 years, and I saw no results for so long. And just being able to continuously lock in and never giving up has been has been my winning formula. Being
Oh,
in Well, my final winning formula was listening to you, joining this program. It's just about never giving up.
yeah.
No matter how we feel, you show up anyways. If I feel tired, we work. If we feel happy, we work. If we want to take a day off, we work until we see more results. Every fear that I felt, every worry that I felt, I use that as more fuel to put in more work. Because what else are we going to do? It takes work to just worry and bite our fingers. So why
Mm.
not put that energy somewhere?
Love it, man. Love it. And I think this always gets me fired up, Logan, because people hear this stuff online. They'll hear like a clip it on like a short or a reel of somebody echoing something similar of that. Hey, it takes time and you've got to just keep pushing through. And a lot of times we just push it off and like, yeah, whatever, whatever, whatever. But everybody who's doing the things that we probably want to do, they're saying the same thing. And it's funny, right?
Yeah,
It's like that's a big old coincidence. If all
yeah,
the people that are doing something I want to do, whether it's business or fitness or something else, are saying the exact same thing, that's a big coincidence, right? you start to think, oh yeah, maybe there's some fruit in that, maybe there's actually logic behind that. And it's cliche. And I know people will maybe hear that and go, oh yeah, yeah, I've heard that before. It's like, yeah, but that's the reality. You just have to ingrain it in yourself. You're just going to keep doing this thing. You are going to work and work and work like this fly that just won't go away right now. He's hustling. He's just hopping on the mic. He doesn't care if I'm swatting him away. He's coming straight back. That's the mentality
Yeah,
we need.
yeah,
And that's the reality, man. So I appreciate you sharing that.
yeah, yeah. And if I may actually just add on one last point, and uh, I actually picked this up from you. And sometimes when you are really tired, I do Take Six, Calm the Circus. It's actually from John Assaraf, where it's a 60-minute, excuse me, a 60-second meditation. And it's just a moment to reset where I breathe in that calm, cool air through my nose,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that relaxation. And then I feel whatever negative emotion I'm feeling in my body, and I act as if I'm breathing it out through my mouth. It sounds silly, but if I'm in an argument, it centers me. If I am feeling down at work, it centers me. If I'm feeling happy and erratic, it centers me. Uh, it's a go-to.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. I know I sent in a breathwork exercise a while ago to the community, and I know Tino, who's in the call here. I remember we spoke about it in person because he came to our in-person event of like, yeah, it's something he leans into now and he finds benefit from. So it's those little things that can sound so woo-woo and they sound so far-fetched, but it's like
Yeah,
they work. They work, man. It's the
they do.
reality. Logan, what I'm going to do, man, is I'm going to stop the recording just for the public video. So, for everybody watching, hope this has been insightful. And obviously, check in with Logan, see what he's up to. We'll drop some of his links below. I'll reach out to him afterwards. We'll get those if you want to see what he's up to. I appreciate you watching. We're going to just do a little internal community Q&A now. So, that's just a little slight plug to say, hey, if you want to be in these in the behind the scenes, maybe consider joining. You'll see links in the description of the video about how to do that.